This is a complete guide to Prague public transport. In this video, we are gonna teach you how to use Prague public transport successfully and not get huge fines on the way. It's gonna be a step-by-step guide. So in the first half of the video, we're gonna show you how to take public transport from the outskirts of Prague to the city center. We are also gonna teach you what tickets to buy and how to buy them. And in the second half of the video, we are gonna share our pro tour guide tips and tell you about different types of public transport that we have in Prague. My tram! So now let's get to the practical part of our video. For that, we've arrived to one of the terminal stops of Prague Metro called Černý Most. Now, I actually doubt that any of the travelers in Prague will end up here because there is nothing around except a big shopping mall and an IKEA. I chose it for personal reasons. Yep, there is just something here that I like. So from here we will go to the city center, to be more specific to Malostranské náměstí, and for that we will need to take metro and tram. So we will actually show you guys how do you change between these two means of public transport. What is the first thing you need to know before you embark on your journey? You need to find out if you have data, internet on your phone or not. If you do, it's gonna be super easy. So what you will need to do is download one of these two apps. We will start with PID Litačka because I think it is more user-friendly. So let's go ahead and open it up. As you can see, you can choose your location or you can select it from the map. I'm just gonna go ahead and select Černý Most and we are gonna go to Malostranské náměstí. Find out how do we actually get there. So what do I like about this app is that it not only shows you the exact times of your public transport arrivals, but also how much time will you have between transferring and also which numbers of exits you will need to use. I don't think we're making it to this one at 10:54, so let's pick one in 10 minutes just in case. And this is your whole route. Yeah, it's going to be visible like that on the map. And what I also like about this app is that it even suggests what type of ticket you need to have, but I'm gonna come back to it in a second. Just gonna show you another app that you can use, which is called IDOS or IDOS. So we are now at Černý Most and we are gonna go to Malostranské náměstí. So it shows you the connections here as well. What is great about this app is that you can also get your SMS tickets here very easily. You will just need to click on the one that you need. So we need this one for 90 minutes and then send the SMS. And voila! One important thing for you to keep in mind if you are using the PID Litačka app is that when you are buying a ticket, and you can buy a ticket right here, you will need to select the type of activation of the ticket. Because the way it works on this app is that when you get a ticket and you click to activate it or validate it, it will only activate in 2 minutes. Which means if you just click it and get on the tram straight away and the controller stops you and checks your ticket, it will not be active, so you will receive a fine. What is great about this app is that if you pick a certain route, it will also activate a ticket at a specific time convenient for you for this route to be executed. Or you can also choose another activation type and activate it manually later, immediately after purchase or at a specific time. So now, what do you do when you don't have internet? You will need to buy a paper ticket. Now let's talk about how do you actually buy paper tickets. There are 4 options. Number 1 is to get it at the info center or any kind of paper and cigarette store like Relay. Option number 2 is the old school button coin machines, which are super rare. Option number 3, my personal favorite, this one, the touchscreen machine, where you can pay with coins and card. And option number 4, which is not my personal favorite, but I will tell you why later in the second half of the video, is the cashless touchscreen terminal. Let's talk about what types of tickets we have in Prague. So we've got 30-minute ticket for 30 crowns, 90-minute ticket for 40 crowns, 24-hour ticket for 120 crowns, 72-hour ticket for 330 crowns, and you also have a special type of ticket for your luggage and pets. There are some age categories that can go for free, and that's kids up until the age of 15 and seniors over the age of 65. Seniors between the age of 60 and 65 can get a half-priced ticket. We aren't using terminals for this video, but just FYI, the tickets that are printed by those do not need to be validated. So now we know that we need a 90-minute ticket, and let's find out where do we actually get it around here. You will get a regular type of a ticket, which you will have to validate. Now, this is where a lot of tourists start to make mistakes. And that's why we made a whole video about mistakes that tourists make when they're using Prague public transport. You can check it out over here and learn how to validate your ticket correctly. But for the purpose of this video, we're just gonna say that you have to validate it on this empty strip on a ticket and only once. Because if the controller stops you, they will be checking the date and the time when you validated your ticket. We will take the metro from the end station to Mustek and then change the metro line. While we are on our way to Prague city center, because it will take us over 30 minutes, I will teach you stuff that you should never ever do on Prague public transport. Do not stand in the way of other passengers at the door. Take off your backpack. And for the love of God, do not speak loudly on public transport unless you want to feel some Czech wrath. So now I will show you how to transfer to a different line. Over there we have a sign, a different color, green. It says line A. This is where we need to go. So we just follow the arrow. And we are here on the last leg of our journey. Now we need to get out of the metro and take a tram. So how do you find out which direction you need to take? You will need to come to the tram schedule, find the number of your tram. Your stop will be always written below the stop where you are. You can find out the name of the stop where you are because it's always written on top of the tram schedule. Oh my god, I hope that wasn't too complicated. See? Much better looking than Černý most. So we've arrived to our destination, Malostranské náměstí, and now it's time for pro tour guide tips about Prague public transport, and the first one is going to be connected to ticket inspectors. Yes, they do check your tickets. I know, you won't believe me because when you will be actually in Prague, you might not meet a single one on the public transport, but it does not mean they do not exist. They do. In fact, people get into physical and verbal fights with them from time to time, so we made a video about it here. You can check it out. The fine is 1,500 crowns, which is reduced to 1,000 if you pay it on the spot. What are the types of Prague public transport? Now let's talk about the famous Prague funicular. What you need to know is that 30 and 90-minute tickets do not cover the rides on Prague funicular. Only those which are for 24 and more hours do. So if you want to take the funicular, you will need to purchase a separate ticket, which is 60 crowns one way. It can be bought inside and it has to be validated before you enter. This is also one of these hotspots for Prague ticket controllers who love to stand on both sides of the funicular and find people left and right, literally. There are two types of ferry boats that you can take from Prague's Náplavka. There is a paid ferry boat that is part of a different company, which is called Prague Venice, Pražské Benátky. And that's the ferry boat that you saw leaving from here. That one works whole year round and it costs 20 crowns. The route is going to be Výtoň, so where we are now, across the river to Smíchov, and then a couple other stops behind the train bridge. But there's also the ferry boat, which is part of the Prague public transport system. This one works only from April till October, so not now. But the route is very similar, except it doesn't go across the river to Smíchov, but you will have to check that because unfortunately they don't have the signpost at Náplavka at the moment. So the paid ferry boat for 20 crowns leaves from here, a little bit closer to the Prague Castle, and the other one, which is part of the Prague public transport, leaves below that bridge over there, the train bridge. I think the best type of ticket you can get if you're planning to use public transport a lot is the 24-hour or 72-hour ticket, because it will also cover the funicular, so you won't have to get a separate ticket for that. But if you're just planning to use Prague public transport like 3 or less times and walk everywhere, maybe you're a walker, you can just get a 30-minute or 90-minute ticket depending on the length of your journey. My next tip is going to be about touchscreen terminals, and I'm gonna tell you why they're not my favorite, basically. There are 2 reasons. You will find those at the entrances to metro and on the tram, usually in the middle part of the tram, in the middle cart. The reason why they're not my favorite is, first of all, because a lot of people rely on them. So they get on the tram and they see that there are a lot of people who want to use them, so they line up, and then the ticket inspector comes and they start fining everybody who is in the line.
Another one. Another one. Another one.
Yes, it is actually not fair in my opinion, but it's a little bit of a gray zone, because technically you don't have an active ticket and you're already on the tram, so that's why they can fine you. And the second reason why I don't like the touchscreen terminals is that because sometimes they don't work, and if the ticket inspector comes and you just tell them, well, the machine didn't work so I couldn't pay, they will not cut you any slack. They will fine you anyway. So if the touchscreen terminal on your tram doesn't work and you don't have a ticket, the Prague public transport rules say that you have to acquire a ticket immediately in any other way available, which is going to be just SMS at that point, and that's not ideal, obviously. Okay, there you have it, guys. Now you know how to use Prague public transport successfully. Not gonna lie, there was one selfish reason why we filmed this video, not just to help you Prague travelers, but also to help ourselves, Prague guides, because we also suffer when you suffer from using Prague public transport. Tourists often come late, or they get lost, or they get fined on Prague public transport. So we hope this video is gonna help you and help us as well. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in our next one. Bye! Now I need to figure out how do I get home from here.